Hey everyone, welcome back to the Coins Numismatic Series, your home for deep dives into the treasures hiding in your pocket change, coin rolls, and family heirlooms. Today, we're exploring a classic piece of American history, a coin that millions have seen but few truly understand. It's a penny that bridges the end of World War II and the dawn of a new American era. And trust me, you might just have one tucked away somewhere without even knowing its story. So buckle in, hit that like button, and get ready, because we're taking a close, detailed, collector-level journey into the 1947 wheat penny 1-cent coin without a mint mark, found in fine condition. Let's dive right in. The 1947 wheat penny without a mint mark is a small, copper window into post-war America, a time when the nation was rebuilding, returning soldiers were starting families, and industries were booming. Minted at the Philadelphia Mint, these coins were produced in massive quantities, yet each surviving example tells its own quiet story. When you hold one of these pieces today, especially in fine condition, you're not just looking at a cent, you're holding a relic from a turning point in American history. Let's begin with the historical context. By 1947, the United States had emerged as a global superpower following the Second World War. Wartime rationing had ended. Coin production had normalized again following the zinc-coated steel cents of 1943, and copper was once again available for minting. The wheat penny, formerly called the Lincoln cent, had already been circulating for nearly 4 decades since its introduction in 1909. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the wheat cent was the first U.S. coin to feature an actual American president, marking a dramatic shift away from fictional or symbolic figures previously used. In 1947, the Philadelphia Mint was responsible for producing the largest share of the nation's coins, including this penny, which carries no mint mark. Many collectors new to the hobby often wonder why certain coins lack a mint mark, and the answer here is simple. Historically, Philadelphia did not routinely place mint marks on its coins until much later. So, when you see a 1947 penny that appears blank where a mint mark should be, you're not looking at an error. This is exactly how it was meant to be. Now let's move to the design, one of the most iconic and enduring American coin designs ever struck. On the obverse is the profile of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. Brenner's portrait captures Lincoln with a dignified calm, facing to the right. Directly above him is the motto, "In God We Trust." To the left of his profile, the simple word "Liberty" stands proudly, while the year, 1947, sits just to the right. The absence of a mint mark below the year is the telltale indicator that this coin came from Philadelphia. Turning to the reverse, we find the classic wheat design that gives the series its nickname. 2 stylized wheat stalks arc gracefully along the left and right edges of the coin, encircling the bold words 1 cent at the center. Just below that is United States of America, and above, the Latin motto, E pluribus unum, meaning, out of many, one. The wheat stalks were meant to represent prosperity and abundance, an optimistic symbol that perfectly matches the spirit of post-war America. The composition of the 1947 wheat penny is another point of interest. After the temporary switch to steel in 1943, the U.S. Mint returned to its long-standing bronze alloy of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. These coins weigh about 3.11 grams. Because of their high copper content, wheat pennies from this era possess a rich, warm toning that collectors find charming, even on well-circulated pieces. In fine condition, a 1947 penny often exhibits moderate wear across Lincoln's hair, cheek, and jawline, with flattening of the wheat stalks on the reverse. However, the details remain clear enough to appreciate the craftsmanship. Now let's talk mintage numbers. The Philadelphia Mint struck approximately 190 million of these coins in 1947, a substantial figure, even by mid-20th century standards. This high mintage means that the 1947 wheat penny is not considered rare in circulated grades, but that doesn't diminish its collectible value. For new hobbyists, this coin is often one of the first vintage pieces they encounter, serving as a gateway into deeper appreciation for older U.S. coinage. Even though these pennies are plentiful, market value varies significantly depending on condition. In fine, F12, condition, like the example we're discussing today, the 1947 no-mint mark penny typically carries modest value, often worth slightly more than face value to a few dollars depending on the buyer, demand, and aesthetic appeal. What elevates any wheat penny is not only its grade but also its luster, strike quality, and any interesting traits it may possess. Which brings us to one of the most fascinating aspects of wheat pennies, errors and varieties. While the 1947 Philadelphia issue does not have any major, well-documented varieties like some other dates in the Wheat Penny series, minor errors still pique collector interest. Among these, you may encounter off-center strikes, die cracks, or die chips, small but noticeable imperfections resulting from aging mint equipment or production misalignments. Most of these errors don't drastically increase the coin's value unless they are dramatic or visually striking. However, even modest errors can make a common coin more appealing to a collector, transforming an ordinary penny into a conversation piece. One point worth noting is that many beginners confuse worn details with actual minting errors. For instance, a penny that has lost sharpness in Lincoln's beard or the wheat lines is rarely a mint error, it's simply the result of circulation. But genuine errors, like a double die or misaligned strike, stand out because they show anomalies in the coin's design rather than simple wear. While the 1947 penny lacks famous double dies like the 1955 or 1972 cents, it is still worth checking each example carefully. Sometimes an unlisted minor variety can be appealing even if its monetary value is modest. Now let's explore collector interest. Although the 1947 wheat penny without a mint mark isn't considered rare, it remains a cornerstone coin for anyone building a complete wheat penny collection. Collectors often seek to assemble a full date and mint mark set from 1909 to 1958, and the 1947 penny plays a role in completing the post-war period section of that album. For new collectors, fine condition coins like the one we're discussing are accessible, affordable, and historically meaningful, offering a tangible link to life in the late 1940s. Think of it this way, in 1947, the average American family could buy a loaf of bread for around 13 cents. A gallon of gasoline cost roughly 15 cents. A penny actually meant something, children saved them in jars, vending machines used them, and people carried them with intention. The idea that a single cent could buy a piece of candy or contribute to a growing savings habit gives personal meaning to coins like this. When you consider the journey this penny may have taken, from the mint to pockets, purses, registers, and eventually into a collector's hands, it becomes more than copper. It becomes a narrative. Now, in fine condition, this penny still shows the wear expected from circulation. Lincoln's hair details are partially flattened, the cheek and jawline show smoothing, and the wheat stalks on the reverse have noticeable thinning. But importantly, all major details remain readable and distinct. This is what makes fine condition such a beloved grade for collectors of circulated coins. It balances affordability with the preservation of the coin's original artistry. Even with its common status, the 1947 wheat penny shines because of what it represents. It is part of a larger story, the continuation of one of America's most beloved coin series, the post-war return to normal production, and a design that had already become a cultural icon. Wheat pennies remain popular because they are relatable. Many people grew up seeing them in change, finding them in old jars, or inheriting them from relatives. They bridge generations. Collectors who cherish the 1947 penny often appreciate it as part of the overall legacy of wheat pennies. The series captures America through two world wars, the Great Depression, the Korean War, and the early days of the Cold War. These coins circulated through monumental moments in history. Each one carries physical evidence of the lives it touched and the hands it passed through. As for today's value, while fine-condition coins are not high-dollar items, they are foundational pieces in the numismatic world. Their value grows not only from scarcity but from meaning, interest, and narrative context. And as copper prices fluctuate and the availability of older pennies dwindles, collectors continue to appreciate these mid-century pieces for what they offer: history, beauty, and accessibility. So what should you do if you find one? First, look closely. Check for unusual characteristics, off-center strikes, die cracks, doubling, or odd features that might distinguish your coin. Then, evaluate its condition carefully. Even within the fine grade, some pieces are more visually appealing than others. The smoother, more evenly worn coins with fewer distracting marks tend to capture greater interest. And most importantly, keep it. Even if it's not worth a fortune, the 1947 wheat penny without a mint mark remains an essential chapter in the story of American coinage. It's a piece of history you can hold in your hand. Thank you all for joining me on this deep dive into the 1947 wheat penny 1-cent coin without a mint mark in fine condition. If you enjoyed this detailed exploration and want more numismatic storytelling in your feed, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode of the Coins Numismatic Series. Until next time, keep searching, keep learning, and keep collecting.